Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the Soundstage Audiophile Podcast. For the past few years, host Jorden Guth has been learning about the who, the what, and the when of hi-fi from the pioneers who made our hobby what it is today, as well as the modern innovators who are constantly striving to push performance to new levels. That's not going to change, but this year he'll also be learning about the other two W's, where your favorite gear is made these days, and why. So with that out of the way, let's see who Jorden is chatting with this time around.
Hello and welcome to the Soundstage Audiophile Podcast. Today we are recording on location in Arendal, Norway, and we're joined with Jan Lassesen, the founder and CEO of Arendal Sound. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here. This is actually the second time we've been in Norway and visiting Arendal.
Yep.
We were here almost a year ago to the date.
It's been great. We have looked forward to this, and we love having you guys.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's always fun to visit. Now, I think there's a lot of different angles that we can cover with our talk today. But I think the biggest change for us arriving here this time around is the new space that you have.
Yep.
And maybe I'll describe where you guys were last time, and then we can kind of talk about this time and what's changed.
Definitely. I mean, the spaces that we had before was more aligned throughout the offices, more limitations to the R&D space and so forth.
So when I think back to when we first visited you last year, you were on the second floor of a building that, do you own the building? Is that?
Yep, that's a family-owned building, so we have a part in it.
And that essentially gives you the ability to kind of manipulate the space as you need. When we first visited you, you were on the second floor. You had office space. There was a very small room that was designated for R&D, and then you did have a listening space, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But second floor, you guys produced some really big speakers. At the time, the 1528s had just come out, or they were coming out.
Yeah.
So quite heavy to get up and down stairs, or even with the elevator.
Yeah.
There was some difficulties that we can kind of see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are very oriented in a remote team. So we have people around different countries. So when we moved into those areas, it was kind of based on the remote strategy on our location. However, that changed pretty quickly as we went, and we outgrew the spaces very quickly. And when we wanted to expand on the R&D space, there wasn't any other alternative for us than we just need to move around in the same first floor in the same building. So now we have about 1,000 square meters, which then is we call Experience Center. So that shares the offices. We have now a dedicated big R&D space with Klippel measurements and stuff like this. We have a press area. We have now a new showroom facilities, and and also this has a function for when we have a team gathering, because we collect minimum 1 to 2 times a year. We collect the team, so we have a good team building. So the team is growing, the project is growing. Everything is kind of going in the right direction. So we had to expand into something that also gave the team something exciting, do day-to-day operations.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just to kind of frame this for those that may not have been here, which would be pretty much everyone. I think we might be the first press that have actually been here.
Yep. You're the first one to cover it.
There you go. So when you walk in, it's a big open space. It has currently all of your existing product line kind of laid out throughout. And then to the right, we have this giant experience center that has the listening room, which you go inside, and you were telling me about the painstaking effort that was taken to actually make this and do the room treatment and all of that, which just finished over the last week or so. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And then it sounds great. Aside from that, you then kind of go through, and then you're into the office spaces, and you have quite a lot of different cubicles. And it makes sense that for your remote team, when they gather, a good chunk of them will have their own office and kind of dedicated work environments so that they can do calls and do all of that stuff. Then if you go through kind of the other side, we have the massive R&D section.
Mhm.
And I would guess that the R&D section in this is probably bigger than the entire office that you were previously in on the second floor.
Absolutely, yes. So the R&D team is definitely now having all the space that they need. They have their own testing facilities. As I mentioned, the Klippel measurements, all the storage that they need. So they've received or gotten everything that they asked for, and possibly more. And actually, the big space that you just mentioned, the big hall that everything is, it's actually the old warehouse that we had before. So from 2015 and 2019, 18, that's when we had our own warehouse.
This was the distribution center, or is this when Arendal Sound started up?
Yes. So we had it when we started up. And we had it for a short while, shipping products from Norway. And obviously we found that we knew that Norway is not the center of the world of logistics. So we had to move out. But so, yep, that's the story.
Oh, that's awesome. And let's talk about this R&D section a little bit. You have the Klippel machine. So you're very into measurements. Thomas, the lead designer, extremely into measurements. Tell me about what this Klippel machine allows you to do that you weren't able to do before.
So it's a huge investment, first of all. The thing is, Thomas wanted us to invest in it because it means that we can go from a product design to the finished product is much faster and much more accurate. So when he needs to do A/B testing, and then he needs to revamp the crossovers, revamp parts, anything that he comes from a manufacturer in terms of the parts that he use in terms of the design process, that is a significant time saving, an extremely time saving operation. And also the Klippel makes it so it actually replaces a huge anechoic space, which would take literally the whole space and more just kind of to compensate it. So it's an incredible piece of equipment, the tool. But he can now spend his time on making progress on the project itself instead of standing outside or in a doing manually measurements, because that's kind of working alongside with him doing other parts. So hand in hand, he saves a lot of time and it's more accuracy. And at the end of the project, we can have fully fledged out measurements that we can provide with the customers, fully transparent. Transparency for the customers. That's
another big thing. Yeah. If you kind of already mentioned this, but the idea being that if you did go to an anechoic chamber, not only would it be a huge space investment, like physical size, that would be massive even compared to the Klippel machine. But then you would also have to restructure the building, probably redo a foundation or two. And it's much more of not only a space investment, but a financial investment. And what Klippel brings to the table is the ability to do all that with a machine that just kind of operates. And you throw it in a space and you're good to go.
Yeah. And according to Klippel, we're 1 out of 3 or 4 in Europe that has it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And so we're fortunate to have it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. We saw them before, but that was in California. Don't know if we've ever seen one in Europe just yet. That makes sense. Yeah. That checks out.
Yeah, we need to be on our toes to be ahead of the competition.
Absolutely. Now, aside from the Klippel machine to do the measurements, you do have some other machinery here to actually do the prototyping that I was talking to Thomas about, the 3D printers, the resin printers, the FDM printers, and all of that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the cabinets and stuff, when you're doing a design of the product, are those still coming from your manufacturing partners overseas?
Yeah, there's no point of us doing it here because they move around very quickly. So whenever we have a design change and we need a sample of a cabinet, it takes them some few days, turn around, and we express it. So even if we had a local vendor in Norway, they would probably spend more time getting us those. So everything comes from the manufacturer in China, which we are very lucky to work with because they are very, very solid and extremely professional. We couldn't find the quality level here anyways. So it's the only way for us.
And that's kind of another interesting point. When we travel to different companies, everyone has their own approach to it. There are companies that kind of either have their manufacturing directly where their business is located. There's others that do a split between manufacturing overseas and then manufacturing in their home country. You're totally in the ballpark of you do the research, you do the design, you do the kind of theoretical stuff here, but the manufacturing is entirely done overseas.
Absolutely. Yep. We're very focused on the core fundamentals roles we have in the company and then focus and double down on it. We want to do that with excellence. We cannot do excellence with doing manufacturing, even the smallest thing ourselves. So we outsource that to the experts, meaning getting the best people, best companies to do that for us. Even samples and everything, that works at least for us very well.
That's awesome. And this kind of all ties into your actual business model itself, which I always kind of think back every time Arendal gets brought up. I think back to what Doug originally said was, I don't understand how Arendal went from their previous line of speakers, and this was the 1528 at the time. He's like, I don't understand how that jump got made. It is unbelievable, and the price point is just unbelievable. So this kind of all ties into that model that you have, which is direct to consumer. So no middleman, no dealer, no distributor, and having that manufacturing in this case, China. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, are you still all in on the direct to consumer approach? Is that still the kind of path forward, or would you consider doing either a dealer relationship or a distributor relationship, or what does that look like?
That's very clear from my side. On the home audio path in the future, we will double down on the DTC, direct to consumer. We will not give in terms of letting ourselves be talked into any massive volumes from distributors and stuff like this, because I think that's kind of looking backwards. We need to look forward to, the DTC, direct to consumer, will be more and more lucrative. And the more further we go into the future, more and more I will understand and appreciate the value that D2C companies are actually providing. Because today it's much easier to even sell a premium product, but most people are connected the same thing because it's based on the human behavior, on the emotional decision making. They see a price and they judge behind it. Sure. So it's human minds are very judgmental. So if you see a speaker costing $10,000 and then another 50, you just judge it right away that the 50K is going to be better. That's not the case when you take a overpriced products in the market versus a D2C product. People has to kind of be aware of this because it's all about emotional connecting with the products. It's a social identity. They need to feel they are connected. They need to be proud and have an ownership of the product. I am that to myself. If I told differently, I would lie because we are all the same thing. Yeah. But that's kind of the thing, which is, again, I think we talked about this before, but this is, again, our worst enemy, that people are judging our products based on the pricing. But I think we will never give up. We will always stand fast in terms of standing behind our concepts, our principles, to price the products as they should be without leaning into this overpriced market that not for all the brands, but for the majority. So when you have different levels of a product from manufacturing, and then you need all these different steps, people need to understand that they pay for it. No one else is paying for shipping different levels. Everyone wants to have a high profit.
Yeah.
So what could cost $1,000 maybe cost $5,000 because
there's a distributor in the mix that needs to get essentially paid to bring it into a specific country. And then from there, those distributors need to then advertise and sell it into dealers. And then those dealers need to advertise and pay for their staff and pay for the fronts.
Yeah. And then sometimes you have sub-distributors. Then you have like a middleman in Europe. And then you have a central warehouse. And then you ship it from there to the distributors in Europe, for example. And then to the dealers. And then out to the customers. And shipping today has gone to roof. So it's add-on all the time. You have the inflation. And so when we have an inflation, we can just do a small tweak on the pricing, which the distribution model couldn't be doing because they need to take that into account on all the levels. So it's a struggle with D2C. But we don't give up. I think we get more and more people that understands it, but it's very hard to convince them. Even if we have 10 years warranty.
10-year warranty.
10 years warranty.
Okay.
Even for the 96, what we called entry level in our realm. We have 60 days buy and try. We have free shipping. We have free return shipping. And it's like, what else can we do to convince the people? Obviously, and then we have raving good reviews, awards. We have customers being very happy with our products. And so we encourage people to buy our products, put them side by side with the competition that you think it's much better, and we'll happily take it back and on our cost.
Yeah.
And we also think I think it's also important that we take the risks aside from the shoulders of the customers. It's our responsibility and risk to provide the products and the experience on our shoulders in terms of that if they are not happy, it has to be our 100%, because I don't think it's the right way to, it's not by integrity, by us selling a product and then we think that the customers should take a part of that risk, because we could let them pay for shipping, we could pay for the return shipping. Sometimes we need to do it outside USA and, for example, and in Europe. Yeah. But we just do a small portion of it. The
general idea is that by offering all these kind of, I'm not going to call them incentives, but by offering all these aspects of the buying experience that allow the user to feel comfortable making that purchase, you're then giving them the ability to test out the product, see for themselves. And if they're happy, that's great. If they're not happy with it, if they want something else, then you'll gladly take it back and help them do so.
Absolutely.
So that they don't have to worry about it or stress about that experience.
Absolutely. And we have different ways of communicating and supporting the customers. We have a live chat, we have regular emails, we have phone calls, we have even live video phone calls. They can hook us up with. So before and after a purchase. So even if they don't know, they can show us the room, we can talk with them, they can lead us into the room and the system. If they don't get if they have bought the products and they are not happy, they don't get, they don't settle in with the subwoofers or the speakers, that's the same thing. They can connect with us and they will talk with the experts behind the brand and not just selling any given brand. So we feel we have the expertise to help most of the customers. And some customers you can't help because it's not that it's something wrong with them. It's just that the product doesn't fit them. And that's perfectly fine. And by all means, we don't pity ourselves like we think we do the world a favor. We just say we provide the bold guarantees, and that it's just a limitation what you can do. and then it's up to the customers. And that's perfectly fine, because that's how I also go around when I purchase stuff. You have your judgmental status in the beginning, and then you have to take it from there and then take it as it goes. But we see that more and more customers are understanding it's more than just a D2C company, that we have this premium high-end level of quality. And for us, it's the other company value we have is it's excellence. So we have 3 company values. One of them is excellence. So we are very striving everything we can do on the product, customer journey with excellence. And but you can do what you can do, and then it's up to customers, and that's perfectly fine.
And I think I remember the last time, I believe it was Lucas was the customer service, the main customer service gentleman.
Yep.
He was kind of talking about the idea that when in doubt, it's better to kind of not upsell somebody, actually give somebody something a little bit kind of more modest, and then they experience it. And if they want to go up, they can go up. But it's better to kind of give them that experience of wanting more, as opposed to getting something massive in the house and feeling like they're overwhelmed because it's too much.
Yep. We have a company philosophy that we see ourselves as the guide for the customer. They come in, and then we need to help them. The first thing, we don't ask them for the budget. It's about the needs, what they have, the system, the room, the environment, and then try to fit the best product possible into that environment for that person's needs. By guiding a customer, by asking his budget, is the worst thing that you can do in how we see it, because you don't do that customer a favor, because then you just pick a product based on money, and that's not what we do. We need to guide them. We need to be their, guidance in how to spend their money wisely. I think, like you say, some people want the biggest 15, 20 towers in a small
apartment or something like that.
And then that won't work. You need a space for it to work properly. And then we may sell them 15, 28 bookshelves, and they also give in. Many of the times, they listen to us, they give in, and then they report back very good results and very happy. And so they could save their money on spending that somewhere else.
They could spend it on, I don't know, cables or audio grade network switches or something else.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I think one of the interesting things there is it's not like you started this business and day one, you had all these ideas in place and it was kind of off to the races. This took a lot of investment to actually make that possible. And it took some of your previous business experience to kind of allow that to come together. And when I think about it, one of the biggest things in my mind is shipping. You guys have kind of nailed that shipping element, which in a B2C environment or direct to consumer environment is kind of one of the most important things. Like, you could sell the product and they could be great products and they could be at the right price, but if they can't make it from wherever they're being made to the door of the customer, then there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So can you just kind of walk me through a little bit about how you were able to figure out this shipping thing? And yeah, like how is the shipping element so well thought out and well kind of delivered?
By failing 1,000 times. That's how I think you can grow the best, to test and fail. Shipping is unfortunately the hardest thing in our business.
And you're not shipping small products.
No. And but the thing is, we have distilled down a big list of what we have tried over the last years, and we come to what we are offering today is kind of what we have found out is the best kind of offerings in terms of logistics. And obviously, you need to find the right partner for your product, because if you sold different products, you wouldn't possibly, maybe you wouldn't choose our ways of shipping. But like you say, 1528 comes on a pallet. You can't move that around very easily. It's about failing and being on their shoulders all the time. Because if you leave the logistics companies just running freely, that won't happen either. That will not work. So you need to spend as much time on the logistics partners as you do with your own team. You need to be on their toes all the time, and over time you find a way with these companies to find the best solution and find the best product and find the best tweaks, and also with the warehouses in Chicago and Rotterdam. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's just not going down to the postal office and then just ship a product. It's very actually, it sounds easy, but it's very complex. But it's many years of failing and distilling down on what we're doing today. And obviously with the more volumes, we can also be more efficient financially, and also efficient with the team and efficient on the systems. So I mean, there's no other explanation on it, just failing and trying different solutions. And
the overnight success that took years to happen.
Yes, right. The overnight success that, most companies has an overnight success, and that they have been in the business for 10 to 20 years. I guess that's the overnight success of the finding out how these shipping companies work.
When we're thinking about Arendal, and I don't want to get into particular products or anything like that, but is there kind of more things that you want to do in the future, or experiences that you want to offer, or approaches that you want to take that you can kind of think of that you would like to move forward with? Maybe not even necessarily the products, because I don't want to put you on the spot when it comes to other stuff that may or may not be getting filmed here and anything else. But I'm just thinking, is there an area of the hi-fi business that you see that the customers probably right now aren't getting quite the best experience that they could? And if there was an approach that you could imagine being taken?
I think, I mean, there's probably other different ways of seeing this, but we see the customers are our number one focus. And it's all about the experience, because the products is one thing, but in how we see the customer journey is that we see actually number one is the team. That's kind of, you put your own oxygen mask on your first. So we distill down the best of the best of the best team that we have inside and as the core company. Because we believe that you need to put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help someone else. That's why we don't put the customer first, we put the team first. The second one is the team. And then the third one is actually the products.
The second one's the customer.
Yes. So meaning, yes, the team is focusing on the customers all the time. So whenever we have team meetings, impact meetings and stuff like this, it's all about the customers. How can we leverage and optimize the customer journey? Because that's all it's all about. The product itself is just an outcome of whatever they get at the end of the journey. That's the end destination. That's just a tool for providing them the journey. And we believe that every touch points, that's kind of what we optimize. Shipping is one thing. That's very, very important for us to nail. It's shipping, because you can do everything right. And then you have the shipping companies, which is totally out of your control. They can screw up a shipment. And then they have blasted the journey of that customer. And then we need to scrap up the pieces again and then try to make that good again. So the fourth one is actually, so we have the team. So you need the best team so you can be excellence on your customer journey. That's why, I mean, we put the team in front.
Yep.
And then, because that's when we can be fully prepared for the team, for the customer, I mean. And then we have the product. You need to have world-class world-class, high value products, obviously, and then we have the profits. That's kind of the priority we have in the company, because you need profits to give oxygen to the company so you can be here in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years from now with the customers, because they need help, they need product, service, whatever that is, and we want to make a impact in the market, and then we need to the profits, the oxygen for new products coming, development. There's nothing for free in this world, unfortunately, but the profits with us is on the fourth place, making the money. Obviously, we want to make money, but we want to do with integrity. We want to do with transparency. So that's how we align things in the company.
Well, I think it kind of makes sense when we're looking at even just how the building's set up, how the R&D set up, how everything is set up. Obviously, the products need to be top notch. It makes sense. The team, and you focus on kind of a very small, intimate team, long tenure, people kind of do their roles, and they're not shy to help out, but they also are kind of experts in their own kind of areas. And then the customer experience, it seems like everyone on your team is very focused. And I think back to Lucas, because that was a great experience the last time we were here, just talking to him and kind of hearing some of what he does on a day-to-day basis to make that experience great. We even talked about kind of your hiring process of the next customer service folks and what that looks like. I know right now you're trying to hire somebody out in maybe North America.
We're expanding the customer experience team in the US.
There you go. And then it kind of makes sense that the profits will follow. When you do everything right, when you have the right team, when you support the customer, when you make the products that the customers are happy with, then the profits will follow.
Yes, because we hire 18 members and we distill them. We can spend months, maybe half a year to get the right person on the CS team. And some companies just take that as a very low threshold thing to hire someone at the CS team. For us, it's the most important thing. Any position, obviously, is very important. We believe that one A team can do the same or more as 3 B players. And the thing is that there's something magical happens when you have only 18 players. It's like everything is moving fluently without the burden of looking over your shoulders, checking up with someone. Everything is just that impact, high expectations. You know, we have a culture of freedom and responsibility, and that's when you do that over time, you get also people that want to work in that company, because A players don't want to play with B and C levels. Only B and B players want to work with C levels so they can shove them around a little bit, push them around. So I think that's a kind of a good spiral, so to speak, that it leads into recruiting the best people, which again leads into the better product, better systems, more efficiency. And then at the end of the day, better customer support, more fluent, more expertise. And then obviously, if we have more profits for the company, then that goes directly into the company and investments for the better of the future of the company and the products, and also at the end, obviously, the customer.
Love it. So I don't want to take up too much more time. We've been here for quite a lot of the day and lots of filming. Maybe we could go listen to some speakers now. Before I leave you, this is the question that I ask all the time. Now, I don't remember your answer last time, but I'll ask it now. If there was a song or a soundtrack, and maybe we'll switch it up a little bit, that you're listening to right now, or you're gonna throw on the speakers for me to hear in a couple minutes, what would that be right now? What are you listening to that you could share?
That has to be what comes into mind, that you need to listen to something about the infected mushroom.
Oh, infected mushroom. Was that what you said last time?
Probably.
Because I definitely have that on my playlist. So it must have come from you.
Yeah, it's not kind of the music that I see as a very high quality music kind of thing. But in terms of the dynamics and rhythm and bass and stuff like this, if you want to torture your speakers, that's the way.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's what we always do. We hammer them out when we have a new proto or whatever. It's infected mushroom that we really play it out. So it's a stress test indeed.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jan. Let's jump in and go play some infected mushroom on a set of speakers.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.